is part of this a resentment against people, the people identified with the strongest sort of Europhilia? Is this a sense of people who other parts of the country and social classes may feel have a sort of disproportionate amount of cultural power, and these people love the EU? Is that part of why some people thought, well, I'm going to vote against the EU then?
Yes, I think certainly there was a resentment at the governing classes and at the, the degree of inequality which is expressed in their lifestyles, and also in their familiarity with the foreign and with the strange, and that they're doing well out of it, and they're generally being very patronizing towards those who haven't got more than £500 in their savings account and find it very hard, are very anxious, and are living under tremendous sort of stress and strain, and the precarity of a social and economic system, especially since the crash, and being told by these people, they should be more competitive and producing all the sort of hollowing out of the state and trying to mimic the marketplace, and it's all very well for them, but it's very bad for us. And I completely agree with that, but it doesn't come from the European Union, right? It's the anger against that system, which is something I think I describe. I go out of my way to understand. And the reason I do is I think you won't reverse Brexit unless you can address that sense of anger and that sense of cultural rage, address that part of it which is valid, and come up with some different answer. And the answer that I come up with is to say that one of the reasons that we feel trapped in this English system is because I think that people aren't quite aware of the way the constitutional system works. We had an imperial constitution with a monarchy, with an army, with the civil service, with British businesses, which have now mostly been sold to foreign corporations, in which we believed it was a system. Parliament was, if you like, the church of that system, the assembly of that system, and it fed you ways of being satisfied, from military victory to positions in the army to the role of the church to the role of the general order of things in which you participated, and which had gone through this extraordinary test in the Second World War. And what happened then, I argue, is that we went to war in 1939, we as an empire, very consciously, and emerged as a country. And that national country that emerged was one in which people still felt fully represented. Now, what's happened post-Thatcherism and then post-Blair's, the sort of disintegrative constitutional reform, is that all that structure of representation of our feeling that we're in this system, we have some voice in it, has been broken. The Scots have a parliament, the judges are now very different, the House of Lords is obviously corrupt, it's just cronies, there's the parliamentary expenses, they're all sort of racketeers, they're in it. The whole thing has been marketised, and in that sense, therefore, in that system, your frustration has no location with which you can't identify with the system of government, and that produces a kind of a rage. And that rage, which has been generated by a breakdown in government, has taken it out on membership of the European Union.